we're live. What a surprise that is. How did that happen? I don't even know where I am right now, but barking aside, Max, let's focus on the real issue at hand. Antic, 3 days in a row. They've absolutely killed it here in game number 1. A small blip on the radar. I didn't really get too concerned about that one. They've run it back, and now Kanga is staring down the barrel of an elimination series. And how are we thinking they're going to try and run it back? Because they've turned it around and said, you know what, Max? It's blue side time.
It's blue side, and with literally everything on the line here, that is not what I was expecting them to go towards at all, right? This is a team who have been very creative in their drafts, but we heard pre-game that they've been cooking some stuff up, and, you know, that might actually extend to what side they want the drafts to come from. We know what Antic are looking to bring out in terms of their 5v5 style. They have basically perfected now. What are Kanga going to do to be able to upset that here?
That is the question. Let's see what changes. Let's see what changes between these drafts as Kanga going to lock in with an Oriana ban once again. Antic say the sides will change, but the bans will remain the same. Still going to go for the brand. They went for the Ezreal and the Vi as well last game.
Oh!
And it's actually going to be a first ban Smolder. So we've not actually seen Smolder ban away on the blue side. And is this a consideration that, look, Styx doesn't play it?
I mean, it could be that. It could be also the fact that they are just wanting to go in a different direction with their first pick, right? I think the Azir... Okay, you know what? I'm going to stop analyzing this. So they've banned away both of kind of the tier 1 mid laners, the tier 180 carry that you're picking right now. What is the first pick that they're going towards? Because Varus is off the board. The Vi that you've been, you know, placing such a heavy emphasis on. What is it, Skimmy? What do you reckon?
Yes, he has been banned away. I'm very excited about that one. So what is this first pick priority? It's going to be the Twisted Fate. Yes, as you say, not banned away. So it is that consideration. And I do wonder if this is a conscious decision to say, we lack the TP, we lack the, you know, the mobility that Antic had. We need to be a lot more proactive on this map.
And TF just makes the game so much nicer to play for everyone in it, right? That gold card lockdown, no matter what role you're actually playing this pick in, will always be incredibly valuable in terms of that easy playmaking. Like you said, I think it's something they really suffered from a lack of last game. Because, I mean, yes, you have these solo laners who want to fight, but how are we actually starting these fights? And now the TF will be picked up. Zyra Khan instantly locked in as a potential response here to their look to pair the TF up with something and put it in the bot lane or keep it reserved for that top lane counter pick. Now, this has been a really good answer into the Cassante in the top lane. Very comfortable matchup. And that Ezreal pickup says to me that, okay, we might be putting this away from the AD carry position.
Yes, certainly would be the case. With Akama being hovered as well, you're still left wondering, really, where are all these free champions going? Because incredibly flexible. Yes, okay, the Ezreal will be the known quantity in the bot lane because it sticks after all. But it's quite exciting to me that Kanga is saying, look, you didn't deny it away from us. This is our trap card. This is our invitation back in. This is why we want a blue side.
And now this Cassante pick becomes so much less appealing here for Antic on 3. I would imagine they're wanting to secure perhaps their jungler here. Swiper's felt very safe, kind of blinding that. But instead, it might just be Ryoma throwing it down the gauntlet. He's going to pick up his Syndra here. So all this mobility, all this CC from Kanga, yes, they have it in spades, but they're also squishy champions. A single Scatter the Weak lands combined with that unleashed power. And it is just going to be a one-shot coming here. As well, a very lane dominant champion here. So whilst there's still, you know, a lot up in the air for Kanga with their draft, Antic much more of a known quantity, and this known quantity certainly has the history to support it.
Certainly do. It's exciting though to see Ryoma forced to finally play something different for once, right? The Azir spam is no longer going to be his ticket to victory. But as for Antic, it's a case of, well, with no junglers being revealed, it's time to perhaps remove some of those full clear junglers. And ironically, it's actually Kanga that banned away the Udyr that we've known Invictus be quite keen to lock in. So I do wonder if the Cassante slips through the cracks and they do say, you know what, the trump card was that Wooden wants to play TF in the top side, and we want Xornis to pick it up to be that direct counter pick. Will they decide then to go for another ease of access jungler? Would it be like something like the Brand? No, the Bel'Veth actually considered.
Well, this is a really good ban because I think Bel'Veth has a super easy time playing in the jungle against... Sorry, rather with a Twisted Fate up in that top lane. Just the perfect champion in terms of not only being able to secure the push, but also it's able to walk down or even ult down and really help Bel'Veth pick up whatever topside objective that she is looking to get. So as the bans do come through here, Kanga deliberating on what they want to take away. It's going to be the Rumble here. So really denying an extra bit of team fight power to come out from that Antic top laner. The jungle pick, I would assume what Antic wants to go towards here. There's still that Rel available. Jarvan as well, but not really fantastic pick into Ezreal. And right as I say that, we might just see the most default top lane pick ever. He knows it could be into a bad matchup, but Zoranus is going to lock in this K'Sante anyway.
Yeah, clearly an indication that if it is to be that 1v1 where you're trying to directly counter me, I'm just not going to be too upset about it. I'm going to look to try and play elsewhere on the map. And we have seen Zoranus will be showcases a little bit of these cheeky shenanigans in the past, right? He played that Varus top into the K'Sante, so he's been the one looking to try and deal out the counter punishment. And made him be on the receiving end, but the Aatrox comes out and says, you know what? The double bluff going in favor for them. They'll hope. But what is it that Kanga looking to try and use then to round this all out and give us some clarity as to where everything's landing?
I think you pick like a Jarvan here or something. Just the guaranteed lockdown onto his Xayah Syndra is really, really nice. But obviously Invictus does have quite a few things that he could bust out at any occasion. Now the surprising thing for me is the fact that they've actually gone with this TF in the mid lane, right? You do know that it's going to be against Ryoma on the Syndra. And certainly it's a little bit of a skill matchup in terms of how those two are going to be able to match up into one another. Now, Aatrox secured for Woodon in the top lane. Great champion if you're going the lethality build, and Invictus on his Taliyah. Looked great last game. Was really the key to their success in terms of what limited advantage they were able to gain. But it'll be answered back by a Swiper Classic here. Second game in a row. He's going back to the Maokai.
He certainly is. If it's not the Rel, it's the Maokai instead. And just says it doesn't really matter what you ban. Doesn't really matter what you build up as a team to try and take us down here in game number 2. I've always got that guaranteed sense of engage and lockdown and supportive tendencies to make sure that the stars in the Xayah and the Syndra are able to shine and showcase what they can do. Now, you mentioned very early on that there's some very squishy members. Obviously, the Taliyah is going to be, joining that conversation as well. The Aatrox, to a degree, especially out of that ultimate form. But, I mean, for Kanga, they've tried to say, we want a lot more mobility, and I'm seeing that in abundance, right? You've got the global ultimate of the Ezreal, you've got the movement speed from the shields of the Karma, the globals then, right, of the Twisted Fate and the Taliyah. So really are looking to try and rectify a lot of the woes from game 1.
And they're still putting themselves a little bit on the timer in terms of they need to push the pace with this team composition, right? They've got the pushing bot lane, Ezreal Karma, really going to feel good about the poke that they're able to put onto Azira Khan. And just like you mentioned, it will be onto Ryu, Fury, and Invictus to make waves, to make those movements and get ideally towards the bot lane to further push this advantage. Because once again, Antic, they've drafted themselves a very easy to execute team fight composition. If it comes down to just a plain 5v5, they're very hard to beat. Kanga know that all too well and will be looking to avoid that here in what could be an elimination game.
That it certainly could be. They have only had a chance to showcase their skills in the playoffs, and that was last night. And in a fairly convincing 2-0 fashion, perhaps some would say even an upset, given the way things were panning on out. They've come into this one with a clear way to try and shut down the side of Antic, and it didn't work on the red side as it has done so famously for them all season long. They flipped the script, they've said it's time to play blue, and with a draft like this, they are certainly hoping they can bring it to game 3.
And it's going to be the 80 TF variant coming out here from Ryu. You can see from the fleet footwork endurance play that he has in his inventory, he's wanting to allow Invictus to be this solo AP threat. So kind of sacrificing himself, the typical, AP variant into Syndra, where you can just kind of throw that Q from a million miles away, nuke the wave, and then move down. He will instead have to opt a little bit more into the DPS route, but nonetheless will certainly open up a good time for his jungler. And in the bot lane, you can see cleanses from both 80 carries coming out here. Not going to find too much value in the isolated 2v2, but certainly once you start to consider the fact of jungles and mid laners, they will be providing a lot of value. And you can see Swiper this time starting on the blue buff, looking to clear nice and early where he knows he has priority. I think that's the key thing here. He doesn't want to start on the top side of the map, walk down, and then, because his bot lane's getting pushed in, get denied like he was in game 1.
But that is the question, right? Is how much protection is going to be offered from the rest of his team to allow Swiper to not fall so far behind? Obviously, he functioned at a deficit, and Invictus' lead didn't really amount for too much. But you can see there from the fan vote, despite everything going against him, there's a lot of Kanga fans in chat. They believe, they've seen the draft, they've seen the team. They're riding the odds.
That is a ridiculous.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay. They had us in the first half, Max. Look.
Yeah, I honestly thought, I felt hopeful for a second there. I was like, there's a lot of Kanga believers in chat. I mean, there still is a fair proportion, right? 35%, especially after that game 1 loss, is definitely a higher than I was expecting. But still, Antic will be the favorites coming in here. And now, I really do think this game is going to be down to which team can execute their style better. Antic, they really have this objective-focused, late-game team-fighting comp. Whereas Kanga, they love to press leads from laning phase. Weren't really able to get them last game. And that was what resulted in their downfall. But here now you can see towards the bot lane, King will pick up just his second CS here. This Ezreal Karma already doing such a good job of bullying here in the bot lane.
And I imagine you could sort of replace the Xayah with a Smolder, and the Ezreal Karma still would be incredibly annoying to try and deal with, right? With the amount of push and poke. And really make life very difficult here. But the Xayah Karma not really known as the strongest response. We've certainly seen it as a bit of a default, especially on that red side, to say, well, you know, we just want to coast on through. But once it comes to the team fights, have really strong ultimates to try and counteract, obviously with the Featherstorm and that quickness, really lending its strengths to what has made Antic such a strong team. Team fight after team fight. Now, Invictus already level 4 with double buff. That's such a great pace. He's already going to sneak his way into this advanced position, looking for a potential lane gank.
He's looking for an all-in to come out from Antic. I think that'd be very silly to take one, though, unless Kanga massively misposition, because they know that Swiper's on the top side of the map here. So for the meantime, we'll just kind of kill time here. And because he's doing this, it will create a window for Swiper in the top side to grab that Scuttle Crab. He's actually gone a little bit ahead in the CS department here. So already he's having a much better time than in game 1. We'll also take this opportunity to drop some deep vision here, get a nice ward onto Talia's Raptors. And that means he'll have a little bit of extra vision come this second clear now. Top lane panning out as you'd expect here. Aatrox versus K'Sante matchup. Nothing too exciting. Once level 6 comes on board, that's really where the tension increases in this matchup. But speaking of fighting in the bot lane now, with their wave pushing out and the jungler beelining it towards the bot lane of the map, you have to imagine Antic are feeling a little bit better about their chances of fighting here.
It certainly would be. Looking for that interesting moment to try and strike, be it from the bush or even just from directly in the lane. You can see Draco every single time he gets a chance. He's looking to garner that heal and out-sustain that of this Ezreal Karma. And it'll only take a slight misposition for them to pounce upon somebody. That grand entrance and either force out the flash or burn Styx his chance to try and arcane shift away.
And that can be so key in a lane. If you're able to burn the Karma Flash in particular, the second that Xayah can't hit level 6, you can bet that they are going to be going all in. And that's really the key. If you're able to find a unique little window in this 2v2 that's pushing against you, you can really subvert how the lane's meant to play out. As Styx E's forwards here, and that E movement speed just enough to get him out of the grand entrance.
Yeah, very lucky. Very, very lucky.
Whoa.
As for Refury as well, Ryoma, he's copped a tower shot in the process and will recall fairly high up here, but there's no vision. But what it does mean is that Swiper doesn't have to concern himself about getting ahead individually. He just gets to play with priority and say, first dragon, that's ours.
I mean, what even happened in the mid lane there? Ryoma's between two turrets there in the mid lane, forcing Rhea Fury's flash out. So the Syndra pick certainly looking to be in good stead. And like you said, Swiper picking up the dragon here off the bot lane priority. As we take a look at what happens here. So the level 6 has been ticked for Ryoma. He's looking for a solo kill window. It's a nice flash from Rhea Fury here. Dodging the scat of the week. Really close there. But will ultimately escape with his life. Now though, it's not an easy task. His wave is frozen against him. And with no flash on TF, you are incredibly vulnerable to Swiper if he's able to come into the area. So Invictus, I think they've realized this from the side of Kanga. You can see Kurak as well walking up to potentially contest a 3v3 and help their mid lane to get the wave in.
Certainly do need a little bit of assistance right now. But you can see the Antic are primed and ready to try and assist in their own response as Draco was reset from base and come to mid lane to just shadow and make sure that whilst Kanga do get that pressure to push and crash, that they don't decide to try and find anything thereafter. Even Woodon making a bit of a movement towards that mid lane as well. He goes back to standard deployment. Kurak, fresh of a reset of his own, also goes for a bit of deep vision, but the Bloom reveals that they're going to go for that blue steal. Obviously, Swiper not in the area. He'll hit level 6 first. Not going to be too upset by that one. With Ryoma having scattered them to the sides, we'll say, well, the blue buff's been stolen, and I do wonder if they'd even contest and even consider the idea of stealing away the enemy blue themselves.
I think it's a little bit hard, especially the fact that Aatrox can get pushed into K'Sante at this stage into the game, and on bot lane fighting.
That's the grand entrance. Keurig in trouble. Flash having to be burnt. This
Sticks.
is a fight before level 6. The Sticks jumps in. Looks to really answer back into King. So both key members here down at 20%. King stays in lane. Keurig considers, do I need to recall? But when Victor's hovering and with an ultimate of his own, they're going to look to try and set up the bait.
Yeah, but look, Swipe is also on the bot side here, and there is no flash on Karma. That's the only flash that was expended in that entire process. So Kurek has to be incredibly careful about how he plays this one. Sticks, though.
Next is in trouble. True Shot Barrage comes out, but it's too little, too late. Flash, and yeah, to safety. The Destiny denied because they pounce upon Fury in the mid lane, and he may just die for free. He has no flash. He burnt it prior. Going to give the kill across to Ryoma. And what a beautiful sequence of events there for Antic.
Fantastic. Both mid and bot going in the favor of the red side. Sticks getting way too overconfident. Just Arcane shifts into his death. Yes, he had the level 6 available, but didn't have the time to get the damage off before he was taken down. And then Fury, who's already been bested 1v1 here in this matchup, tries to make a roam that gets punished by Swiper. So 2 kills over to Antic in this early game against a comp that really needs to accelerate the pace. Things are in good stead here. Zoran is looking for the all-in.
Certainly is. Double ultimates populate 2 bruises, and Turkish Strike's getting missed for the meantime. Zoran is jumping in for a little bit more. He goes and hits him with the Pathmaker, immunes all that damage. And from top to bot, it's all things Antic.
K'Sante. The second game in a row finding a solo kill onto Woodon here. We take a replay of the bot lane. So Sticks here just ease in, has the flash, doesn't want to use it to escape the grand entrance. And plain and simple, just gets CC'd. Swiping here, flashing onto Fury to catch him out, stopping the Destiny Gate coming through, and securing them their second kill. And, you know, coming off that top lane solo kill that just happened, every single lane now firmly in the control of Antic. Even a Ludens here completed for Ryoma.
Yeah, so early. We talked about 10 minutes yesterday for the Tristana, but to have that already at 9 minutes, it's a scary prospect because the Syndra simply will only get stronger. Yes, with time and levels and items, but with the passive too. Once those splinters reach 120, you're already at 50, and it's going to be an absolute menace. Dragku getting a little bit angsty there, thinking, is this an angle for me to try and fight? Using the quickness there, but for the second time in a row now, both teams trading 3 for 3 on these Void Grubs as the Seismic Shove misses, and Invictus can't find much, and Dragku does decide to jump on in, getting rooted there by the Karma stun. And then looking to run away as Fury cops a fair bit of damage in the process, and Ryoma is just waiting for that all-important cooldown and hits him with the ultimate. Out come the feathers, Woodon in no man's land, and he dies as a consequence of Kanga's indecision.
Antic, the Game 1 heroes, look to be putting on an even better performance here in Game 2. Off the back of the Void Grubs, you can see Kanga plagued a little bit by not wanting to completely commit. That results in their members just being picked off by Ryoma, who on this Syndra, 30 CS up here. And here we go. Let's look at how it all unfolds here. So the Scout of the Week initially onto Fury here off the back end of this play is really opening up the window here for Ryoma to continue the chase. You can see he's got all this damage on the Syndra, and it's a no-flash TF. Just simply waits for the ult to come back online and take him out. And Skimmy actually has stolen the Void Grubs by Woodon here in this Aatrox, but the price will be his life. So denies all 3 going over, but gives them 300 gold in response.
It really does. They've not got those Void Mites, but they will get that silver lining of, well, that feels nice, but certainly not when you tab into the scoreboard and see that you're 5-0 down. Antic have found that first dragon, and whilst they'll be maybe a little bit upset about losing one, it's not the real end of the world. They're setting themselves up now for that second dragon. And with TPs missing, but for Zoranus to be available, you can certainly make this a 5v4 to guarantee a very early soul point.
Yeah, looks like what Antic are wanting to get down towards right now is another Scout of the Week lands. Invictus, he's just gone.
He's just dead. The flash means nothing because it's a point-and-click ultimate and you can't do anything to dodge. Zoranus though. He's testing the waters here in the top side with a little advantage. Why wouldn't he at this stage? Incredibly strong. He's already got the Bramble Vest to deny a fair portion of that healing out of Woodon. And already very quick to achieve that Sheen for the Iceborne Gauntlet Rush as well thereafter. And I mean, you're really struggling to find a way for Kanga to come back into this so early on, right? You're obviously comprised this comp that is so good to be mobile, but it does feel like Antic are just out-rotating you still.
And the problem is when you're behind, you have simply no front line. I mean, literally, which champion is face checking as Ryoma might be caught.
Maybe caught. Great flash out of the seismic shove. Slight disconnect there on the CC timings. So it doesn't work out perfectly from that gold card. And Zonis just simply wins the 1v1. And Kanga, honestly, the stress, no doubt, flowing through them. The communication has to be on point right now because they can really be at the bare front of a bit of an ugly picture now.
Zonis is solo killing top lane while Ryoma is practically 1v2ing there in mid. Burns the flash from RiaFury and still no death to go over. But here's a TP. It's desperation from RiaFury and Kanga.
It certainly is. King has the Featherstorm but doesn't even need to burn it. Look at that, RiaFury threatening, but it wasn't really much of a threat after all. The Nature's Grasp, Antic are here to back their boys up in reds. And Ryoma on the great trail from mid to bot goes 4-0. You look at the bot of Navy carry and say, they're 7-0 max, and it's only 13 minutes.
Alrighty, boys. Time to call this one a day here. Antic having an absolutely dominant performance all around the map. Every single play that Kanga try is quickly refuted here. Really feels like this game went from bad to worse in a matter of minutes. And oh no, Woodon's been caught.
Woodon's being caught. Ryoma is that strong right now that he can literally just walk into a bruiser and say, nice try, yeah, 0-4. And your map pressure ceases to exist.
I mean, there's really not much going for Kanga in this game. You can see across every single matchup, every single lane they're losing. RiaFury TP's in here. I'm not sure what he's looking for. Doesn't even lock in the gold card, just gets killed ultimately with the red card going out. And look at the response from Antic. Ryoma's walking down, picks up the kill onto Kurak. And Zonis has TP'd in to take out Stick. So not only are the solo lanes winning, not only is bot lane doing fine, but they are all coming together as well to make it a 6,000 gold lead and 2 dragons at just 14 minutes.
Certainly is. It's an incredible performance here from a team that we've hailed as a late game win condition. They've done it all in the early game this time around. A perfect one so far. Yet to lose anything. A life for structure. Or even a team fight here, Max, as they'll win another skirmish there. And Stick's hitting them with pot shots from afar, but it's not enough as the quickness charm. It lands, and they take out 2 in the process once more. King, with the feathers, finds the angle, rips them back, and will say, look,
yes,
you can get 1 on the board by taking me down in mid lane.
That one's got to feel good there. Not meaning too much there, but King will go down. And that's the important thing. As we can see across the board here, it really is dire. RiaFury, no summons on this mid lane. The wave's crashing into him, and there's a Kasance behind him. Doesn't manage to use the W though to block this CC. RiaFury will pick up the blue buff and get out here, you would imagine.
Yeah, how do you stop a Kasance? What a champion. We've seen so many responses into this one, even with the gold card prime, the ghost active. He just waddles away. Says, nice try.
God.
Try it again. Woodon flanking from the right-hand side, but just gets dragged across the wall, completely isolated, as does Dragku, because the boys couldn't back him up for the fight that he was looking to try and hope and dream for. And in terms of what they can achieve from this one, really, it's just a scuttler.
I mean, that time to pick there is really good from RiaFury. I thought he was kind of just ulting in to die, but does manage to CC down Dragku for long enough to buy his team time to get back in now. Off the back of that, 2 kills, you know, it might be feeling a bit good until you press tab and see that Ryoma now has a Rabadon's death cap. 2 items completed also for Zonis here.
Oh my god.
As we take a look at that gold. 8.7 thousand. He is 2,000 ahead of his closest counterpart.
Yeah, nobody even gets close right now. Obviously, his direct lane opponent is nearly 3,000 gold behind. He really is that full item behind. He's got 2 full items compared to components here of RiaFury. It paints a pretty abysmal picture of where we're at right now. The fancy feet didn't get him out of that seismic shove, and he may just fall on down. Is it cast a curse? The shield, the heals, it's enough! Dragku, oh, phenomenal stuff there. And I really did think we were in for a bit of cast the cursing, Max.
Yeah, they managed to both dodge the scout of the week there, RiaFury and Invictus, but ultimately they just don't have the damage to burst Ryoma down in time. King doesn't actually have the damage either onto the Raptor camp, but still the Syndra is going to prevail. The 700 gold bounty is going to remain strong here. And now Infernal Soul. Just to make matters worse, why not add some more AD and AP and potentially even a Soul on top of that.
Yeah, pretty disgusting. It definitely is the go-to that we've always loved to enjoy. Already 17 minutes in, it's a bounty for them to try and take away. Let's run it back with this clip because it all looks so good for Kanga at the start.
Yeah, they get spotted out on this play here, but the Scat of the Week misses from Ryoma. That allows Victus to walk forwards, land that seismic shove, but ultimately Rear Fury, who's doing the DPS, just gets one shot the second that Unleashed Power is released. And it will be the saving of Ryoma down there in this bot lane. So keeping those Darksteel stacks very much alive as Rear Fury is being found here by Zonis.
Preemptive on the Pathmaker, anticipating the gold card to come on through, and Zonis says, well, I'll just go all out. You've got the Kraken Slate, you've got a flash. But I'll let you get away on this occasion down to the top side now. We look to try and see what they can find on towards Ryoma, who died maybe once, but this time it is confirmed. As the Seismic Shove does guarantee it, Zonis being active from bot to top, he TP's in, looking to try and find that kill, and he does finally get it on towards Invictus. The Nature's Grasp serves it up on a silver platter, and actually snipes away one kill in the process. 3 members dying, and once again, the map does belong to Antic.
Ryoma goes down, but the trade back is really nice from Antic. Zonis with a fantastic TP in the last seconds of his all-out mode, enabling him to pick up 2 kills with the knockback coming through onto Kurak, and that will open up this top lane play here. King and Swiper with the Rift Herald behind them will take down this tier 2 turret. So, I mean, you lose 1,000 gold, which obviously really hurts. As hold on, Swiper's gonna get another charge.
Ooh,
no!
So close.
Kurak's gonna stop him and actually force the flash out.
Wow, so close. As you say, yeah, definitely a lot of pressure. God damn, what is happening here for Rear Fury? Every single time he seemed to pan towards him, he's limping away, battered and bruised, but still decides to persevere. Not been a very kind series for him, but let's run it back once again because Ryoma's been under so much pressure.
Well, I mean, he's enemy number 1 here, and you can see that Kanga identified that, burn the flash, and to be honest, he just gets a little bit overconfident here. Walking back because he thinks he can get the one shot onto Wudon, that means he'll go down. But take a look at Zonis here, really nice play. Has the knockback charge the second he gets out, kills Invictus, and when he switches back, he has the Q3 primed again that allows the knockback to come through to kill Kurak and secure the team fight win. Now, out of this replay, you can see Styx trying to defend this mid wave, but Ezreal, not the best wave clear champion in the game, really does like those extended fights where he's able to hit those Qs on enemy champions. But as of right now, where do you actually go for that fight? Invictus not even allowed in his own jungle. Just has to watch as all his camps are taken. But Rear Fury pops the ult to Ryoma.
Ryoma, instant Scat of the Week though. He says, you stun me, I'll stun you, and you will just get destroyed! 9-1. And we've just crested over to the 20-minute mark. Pretty brutal affair here, Max. Pretty brutal.
Yeah, that felt like a Lemus TF ult. If you remember back to that Ground Zero series where he's just ulting in to die. I feel like at this stage, really any play that you're trying to go for comes with about a 95% chance of death, especially if you are this TF ulting into a Syndra. But now, really, where is Kanga going to have their final stand? 8,000 is the gold lead. Baron's already spawned. But with 2 minutes on this Infernal Soul, I wouldn't put it past Antic to just wait this thing out. They've shown that they're a very patient team. They are willing to close their game out with minimal risk. And taking that Soul would all but secure this 2-0.
Certainly would. Trisha Barrage used to reveal if the Baron has been started or not, which we know it hasn't. And quite honestly, Styx not too far away from hitting a pretty crucial breakpoint of that Ezreal as the Muramata now becomes fully evolved. So a chance to try and contest to some regard because this may be the strongest you find yourself in, but it's not going to be an extended fight. You're just going to get bursted on down as King rips it back with the Blade Caller, and then they snipe across the wall onto Invictus. Double then for King. The Zarya incredibly fed. Now make it a triple. And if they're going to wait for the Infernal before, they're certainly going for Baron now.
Yeah, no, why wait if you just completely murder the enemy team there? Styx once again dashing into the face of King there. He doesn't realize that is an incredibly fed 2-item Zarya. Machine guns him down there and does the exact same thing to Wudon. So 23-3, more kills than there are minutes. Antic will secure the Baron.
Well, to tell you what, for the woes that Antic have had in recent weeks, this no doubt would be an absolute confidence booster for them. We'll run it back again because the Styx getting incredibly aggressive.
I mean, this dash forward feels really weird. What are you actually hoping to accomplish here? He will go down as a result. Zoran is delivering King his second. And then look at this Zarya E. Just nukes Wudon down for the third kill there. So Baron will be completed off the back of that. Infernal Soul spawning in 30 seconds. If you Kanga, you have to do something but what can you actually do?
Well, that is the question, right? Yes, you conceded a Cloud Soul in game 1, but honestly, I don't think it was the worst thing for Antic to acquire, given how much mobility came into the picture. This time around, you're already suffering to just one-shots, and then you say, an Infernal Soul at 22 minutes? Get me out of this lobby right now. But you can't, because if you lose here, that is your playoff dream over. That is your LCO split 1 done. But you're just struggling to find an out here, right? 1 and 9 is the combined AD and mid lane here of Kanga, and the cooking that they've tried to put up. Look, I think the food is pretty burnt.
The Infernal Soul, absolutely evidence of that right now, Skimmy. You can see 11,000 now is the gold there, not to mention all the bonus stats they're getting. And with Baron still on for another 2 minutes here, they're going to escort this wave into the bot lane now. Kanga's lack of front line really does become a problem here because there's not a single member who doesn't get one-shot by a Syndra combo here. They're going to have to try to find a TP or do something creative because as of now, Antic are poised to be seizing this game.
They'll try and end it as Kanga looks to try and deter them in the best ways possible. Lots of great damage on towards King. But they do take down that bot lane inhibitor, turning their attention towards the mid lane as the 1-4 split continues. And Zoradis is like Asante, so no matter how many members turn towards him, he is simply immune to damage. Refury flashing to safety, but his team is not going to share that same fate. He's going to die, King, as the Destiny comes across. Zoradis snipes out Woodon, going all out, dragging him back, and saying, who wants to pick up this kill? Triple then for Ioma. You kill one carry, you've still got a second to take down in the process. Unleash the power and make it a quadra for the ace.
It's a messy fight for Antic, but it doesn't matter at this stage. Their wallets are too big. The lead is too great. And at 23 minutes, TP back in, available for Ioma. They're looking to close this in clean fashion.
Well, if game 1 was a close affair, this was a massacre. This is a team of Antic that are incredibly angry by the form they've found themselves in. They will grant themselves that chance to progress through that lower bracket gauntlet run. They will gift themselves an opportunity at a fully fleshed out best of 5, and they will still be hunting for a chance to make it to PCS.
They lost in the regular season, they lost in the upper bracket, but tonight they will emerge victorious, looking to contest for that spot in PCS. This is a team that is playoff hardened, and they're looking to take it all the way to the grand final.
They got all the veterans, they got all the winners, they've taken down this trophy time and time again. And comprised as a super team, they prove that they've still got it in them as they take a convincing 2-0 victory here tonight.